very exciting. We've seen Alder, old and new today. And we're now in a kind of pivotal place of this new build, because this is somewhere that doesn't exist in the old building. With me is Clare. Now, you're from Alder Children's Hospital charity, Clare.
Yes, that's right.
First of all, tell us where we are.
So we're on one of the play decks, which is at the end of the fingers of the wards of the hospital, and this is something that was specifically developed with the children and in consultation with the children and families, because the old hospital at the moment is a very closed space. It's very dark. There's not a lot of light or scenery, and what we really wanted to do with this what will be a fantastic view when it's in the park, was to bring nature to the wards. And for those children who can't actually get out and about on the ground level, allow them to come out and have some fresh air on really nice days like this, to see the sky. You know, they'll be able to look out across the park, feel the fresh air, because there's a real direct link between people's mental health and well-being and nature, and we wanted to incorporate that in the hospital build. So this is a special play deck. There's several on each finger.
So what floor are we on now?
I think this is the third floor that we're on now.
So even the fact that we're high, that is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
If you're a kid and you come out here, it's wow, look at the view. Which
it's
is
fantastic.
In itself fantastic. Now behind us here is the old building.
Yes.
So that will eventually be demolished, and that will all be parkland.
Yeah, all of that will be in park, and all this here will be parkland, apart from our helipad.
So tell us about the helipad. That is
so the helipad is over there.
Right.
And obviously at the moment we don't have the facility to take helicopters at the moment, but we are obviously a major trauma centre, so we thought that would be a really good idea to have that. So we'll be able to have them land here, and that's straight into the A&E, and then obviously A&E is next door to the intensive care and theatres as well.
Fantastic. So this will be soft play area, if you like.
This will all be that sponge play.
Full of toys.
And we'll have external toys in here. And then we have another little internal play area there that'll have TVs and the electronics that the kids have now, you know, your PS4s and all that kind of thing, as well as some traditional play. Because we obviously have children from all ages here, so we have to cater for everybody. That's really important.
So we walked past it as we were coming in here then, a special room for teenagers to sit and chill.
Yes.
With their iPod, with their iPad, with whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And they've got their own space now.
Absolutely. So as well as having your brilliant room that you might want to be in, so you can choose to be on your own, or you can choose to be part of the ward community by going to your chill out zone, and that's separated from your parents who are across the corridor.
What? There's going to be a lot of kids that come in here that never want to leave.
I know.
Ever.
My daughter said that to me the other week. She said, "Mum, I think I'd like to be." I said, no, it's fine. But I think what the new build has given us the opportunity to do is really think about what the experience of families and children is like when they're here. It's quite a traumatic time when you've got a sick child. It's quite stressful, and what we as the charity have been able to do is to look at things and work on things that relieve that stress and relieve that boredom, and just make the experience a bit better for people. And
this area is going to do just that. That's going to be grass right behind us, going right the way down, so it'll look beautiful, it'll feel beautiful. We've also got some wood here, I've just been told. Now there's going to be plants growing on that wood, and then plants will be fed through a fish tank.
So this is a hydroponic system. So this is something else that's not been done before. So we've got a fish tank that the water feeds through to the plants that will grow on this wall, because this wall here, obviously you can see it now, it receives the sunlight. So it's a closed system.
That is amazing. So we're going to walk through very soon. We're going to meet one of your key members of staff, and he is a neurosurgeon.
Yes.
But first of all, I just want you to briefly take us into this area, which is one of our wards, just to show. So this leads out from one of the big wards here. So from the beautiful outside space to a beautiful, this is huge, this area.
And you can see how it's right there, right at the end of the ward. The play area is right there. It's really accessible, but safe environment as well, because you have the nurses station here also. So you get the best of both worlds. You can get out and get the fresh air, but if you need any medical attention, you're right. You know, the nurses are right there for you.
Lots of space. We're going to meet someone very special in just a second. Is he one of the world's leading child neurosurgeons?
Yes, he is. Conor Mallucci, who's he's one of the leaders in his field, and has been with Alder. We're very fortunate for a long time, and has been instrumental really in some of the innovative procedures that have been developed here, and also in sort of specifying the latest technology and equipment that we've been asked to raise funds for.
And he hasn't seen this theatre yet, so we're going to unveil it to him, which will be very exciting. Just before we go downstairs, I really want to talk to you about the charity. It's very special. It's huge in Liverpool in terms of it's in people's hearts, this charity, but we still need more money. There's an appeal coming up very soon. We're going to show you why that money is much needed. Tell us a bit about the charity and its history.
So Alder Hey Charity has been through a number of iterations. Some people may have known as years ago as the Rocking Horse Appeal, or they may have known as the Imagine Appeal. When we were about to launch the appeal for this building, it made sense actually to restructure and rename as Alder Hey Children's Charity. So we do what it says on the tin, really. We raise money specifically for the staff, patients and families of Alder Hey. Predominantly, it is about enhancing experience. Obviously, the NHS pays for medical treatment and services and facilities. What we pay for is the added extras, the things that make it better, the things that make it less stressful. Arts and play is a big feature that we fund. Children are still children, even when they're poorly, and they want to have fun and they want to play and they want to be entertained. And boredom is a big stress risk in hospital for children. So we fund arts programs, play programs, video programs. We have companies coming in and working with the children to do little models where they do make little figures, and then they do a little story and they video it. We have grand openings with red carpet, and it's about really just making life better, making the experience
better. So it's a charity that really does need your help. We've got details very soon with the lovely Clare about why we need that help, and some touching stories really from in and around the hospital.
Yes.
But this is exciting for me today, and it's going to get more exciting now because we're going to show one of the most, would you say, well-respected members of staff in this hospital?
He's up there. Yeah, we
He's
have.
up there.
I'm not going to get into a hierarchy because all our staff are superb,
Yes,
and they all
are.
go above and beyond.
They
And that's
are.
we are a real family at Alder Hey, and that's what makes us special, is that we work really well as a team. So
Well, let's get down to Clare and unveil this new
Okay.
theatre.
there he is. And this is our consultant neurosurgeon, Connor Mallucci.
Pleased to meet
Connor,
you.
good to
Hello,
meet you.
how are you?
Now, I
Hi.
understand that this is your first time in this brand new, amazing, incredible building.
Absolutely, I'm really excited. I mean, the first thing that strikes you is just the light and the space.
Can we walk down and have a look? So tell me about your role. You've been here a long time now, Connor.
So I've been working as a neurosurgeon in Liverpool for almost 20 years, and actually this is my fourth move. So we used to do paediatric neurosurgery at the old Walton Centre, then we moved to the new Walton Centre, then we moved into essentially porter cabins at Alder Hey for the last 8 or 9 years, in a bespoke but temporary structure. And we've been really waiting for this move for 8 or 9 years because we've been living in this temporary accommodation, really.
Tell me about the biggest limitations for you, if you like, and the biggest problems that you've faced in terms of doing something so important, which your job is. What are the biggest problems?
So whilst delivering, paediatric neurosurgery is really technology orientated. So, we've had to deliver high-tech, really specialized neurosurgery, computer-driven, technology-driven in really an unfit building for many years. We've got a fantastic theatre suite, and we're innovators, and we've always been leaders in Liverpool. So we've had the first intraoperative MRI in the country with regards to delivering high-quality tumour surgery, for example. But actually, we've been doing that, as I said, in this temporary structure. And we've had add-ons through the years. So we've been working in a sort of jigsaw of a hospital for the last 20 years. And to just come into this purpose-built, bespoke, beautiful, spacious environment is going to be fantastic.
So this is the recovery ward, which is obviously really important. Again, so much space, so much light. Just got a nice feel about it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's completely different to what we have at the moment. And I think if we're going to go walk through
We're
to theatres.
going to unveil your new theatre to you on camera.
Can't wait. I can't wait.
It's a bit like a changing room moment, this, if you like, from old to new. Your staff, your team must be super excited about this.
Fantastic. And, the whole department, and we work very much as a joint unit with neurosciences, but we interact with all the specialties. But, just doing this walk is interesting because this is, if you like, the patient journey. At the moment, when we take a patient from the ward to theatres, which is probably the most stressful thing they'll ever do with their parents, we're limited with space. They've got to walk through general theatres. They're again walking into this temporary sort of theatre building. And your parents are handing over their precious child in that environment.
And for the parents to feel comfortable as well, that has a lot to do with the environment around them, and
Of course it does.
and that's really as important as making the child feel.
It is, because it is the most stressful thing in their life to hand over their child's care, and to do it in the proper structure at least relieves some of the tension that they're about to go through.
This is your new theatre at the brand new Alder Children's Hospital, and it's looking pretty good.
Fantastic, absolutely. It really looks a state-of-the-art bespoke theatre in its preliminary phase, but really it's spacious, it's bigger. We don't have any natural light in our last theatres. Sometimes we're there for 8 or 9 hours, and it's fantastic. But you see a lot of the ceiling-mounted lights and a lot of the structures that we will be using to keep everything off the floor so that we can keep it as clean as possible and keep the patient movement stable and straightforward. And then, of course, we'll have the link with the intraoperative MRI, but we have, over and above this, heaps and heaps of computer-assisted equipment and stuff that gets wheeled into these huge spaces. So we really need this space to deliver our high-quality, really technical specifications.
I never thought I'd say it about an operating theatre, but it feels nice. It feels spacious, as you say. It feels really light, airy. A much better place for you guys to work.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is where it all happens for us. So our operations will often take, as I said, 6, 8, 10 hours. There'll be 4 or 5 surgeons, there'll be teams. And theatres is designed to, you've got to keep it clean, you've got to keep it sterile, but you've got to accommodate all these people and all of this movement. And really our morale, everybody has to keep, through that day, keep our concentration as much as possible. So a bright, bespoke environment is really the key to keep your concentration,
Well, listen, I bet you can't wait to get in. Thank you for chatting to us today. You know, you're a very, very busy, important man, so I appreciate that. But we still need to raise more money for the equipment, for the environment to be even better than what it is.
It is, and the charity's appeal is all about, obviously the hospital is being paid for by the NHS, fantastic facility, and what we want to do is to provide our surgeons and our clinicians with absolutely the latest state-of-the-art technology and environment so that they can actually perform at their peak, because ultimately what we want to do is make it a less stressful environment for the children and their patients, give them the very best opportunity to come through their treatment with a very positive outcome, and we need money to do that. We've got about 9 million left to raise.
But we've got to make it clear, I know we mentioned it, that's not the building. The building
is built.
That's not from charity. It's what happens inside.
It's what happens inside the building. So if we take theatres, for example, the charity have raised funds to enhance the theatres, and we're integrating all the theatres, which means that we're providing Connor and his team with the high-tech technology that links them all together, and I believe you can dial out and consult people.
Yeah, I mean, if I may, of course. Absolutely, we depend on this extra equipment. So we've got the basis here. But, for example, we've relied on a huge charitable donation to deliver our intraoperative MR 5 years ago or 4 years ago. We've relied very much on generous donations recently to renew that and upgrade it for the new hospital. We've got an opportunity to have the only hybrid theatre in the whole of Europe. But it's empty at the moment, so we need special equipment to that so that the oncologists, the neurosurgeons, the cardiologists can all do joint interventions. So a lot of exciting developments, but a lot of equipment is still required.
Still needed. Well, listen, thank you guys. We are, for the first time on Bay TV, we're going to launch an appeal right now, and this is how you at home can help your local children's hospital.
If you want to get involved, you can text Gift Bay to 70755. That's Gift Bay to 70755 to donate £5. The whole 100% donation will go to Alder. Obviously, the donations are from UK mobile only. That is £5 plus your standard network rate. 100% will go to Alder. Remember, this could be one of your children that could be benefiting from this amazing project that's taking place.